You need a dose of this.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me tonight on the program. I am here. You need a dose of this. Get your meds is the channel. I am George Medina, and today I'm going to be joined by a very good friend of mine in the indie world, Miss Laurie Calcaterra. She's the creator. She's the writer of Path of the Pale Rider, which is her hit comic book series that is on issue number 7 currently, which is amazing. Amazing that an indie has reached issue number 7. If you guys have, are indie creators, you guys know how tough it is to create these comics. So for her to be this far into the game is amazing. I'm very proud of her. I love the book. I've enjoyed every single issue. Her campaign is live right now for issue number 7. Make sure that you do support it if you haven't done so yet. The link is in the show notes. Is in the show notes. So without further ado, let me bring her in, Miss Laurie Calcaterra. There she is. What's up, Laurie?
Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm great, George. Thanks for making time for me to come on the show and have a conversation. I'm excited to talk with you because I feel like you've been digging into the story and you're asking some really deep questions. And I love it because it just kind of sets up like, where are we going in this next issue?
You know, I was going to ask you before we came on the air. I'm not going to ask you now when the show's over. I'll ask you because I don't want to spoil anything for people. Like, okay, so the last time we were on this particular show together was back in October when you did issue number 6.
I did issue 6 in February. So was it in February?
What was in October? You were here in October. I thought it was 6.
It must have been issue 5.
Oh, 5. Yeah, maybe it was 5 because you were talking about a scene in issue 6. Yes.
It probably was issue 5, and I was planning on doing the thing for issue 6. You know what I mean?
That's
because Sad Pancake became a thing. So,
which I want to ask you about also. But watching that show, because I rewatched it, I don't know how long ago I rewatched it because I know we were doing this, and I was like, let me just refresh my memory about what we were talking about. And damn, I started seeing clues in the conversations we were having. And I'm like, don't tell me she's about to do what she's about to do in book 7.
Yep.
No. All right. So for those who don't know and have just joined us tonight, really quickly, Laurie, give us the pitch for Path of the Pale Rider, which I'm sure you've given 1,000 times.
1,000 times, but so I'm ready.
Go for it. What is the pitch? Tell us what this book is about.
Path of the Pale Rider is a Western apocalypse comic book series. So if you like things like Book of Eli, spaghetti westerns, Walking Dead, and sprinkle on some Cocaine Bear, that's where we are. It is a world where death is broken. And what I mean by that is that your body can die, but your soul, your energy, it doesn't leave your body upon death. So you're you stuck in your decaying body. But as your brain rots, you can lose your memories, you could become violent, you could become vegetative, and it hits everybody differently. And did I mention that it's people, animals, insects, and fish? Death is broken. There is no bullet to the brain. There is no release. So the story starts 10 years into that apocalypse. We are following a cowboy named Jude St. Clair as he sifts through all the conspiracy theories to figure out what broke death and to see if he can put things back to the way things were.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome. I want to give a big shout out to Lou.
Hi, Lou.
Always supporting. I love
Lou. I love
her. So yes, death is broken. And this concept still rattles my brain, man. Like, I'm like, because now today I was thinking about this and I'm like, okay, it's broken, right? But you still decay, right? So you're decaying. So it becomes almost more of it becomes more spiritual at that point, right? Like, because your body is eventually going to it may disintegrate at some point. Like it's gonna decay so much that you will cease to physically exist, but your subconscious mind is still alive. So that
What
was that was
what
yeah,
happens? Yeah, that's one of the questions. In fact, that was one I was going to release tonight. I have these grim questions that I put out into
right,
the ether, right? And one of them is, what happens if there is no death? What happens when you're just a skeleton? Like,
yeah,
where do you go? Do
right,
bones? Do the bones still move?
yeah,
Mobile because your muscles and your tendons are gone? And if
right.
so, like, what happens to that spirit?
Yeah, yeah. If they decide to cremate you because they're like, let's spread their ashes. Like,
Right?
what
Oh,
happens to you?
that's okay. We're gonna get there. I promise you we're gonna get there. I did answer this question in the story.
Oh,
It's
okay.
gonna take us a little while longer to get there, but
Of course.
there's so many questions that are brought up
But
by
that's
this world and just the
yes.
mechanics of it. That is a major one, and we will answer that
Yeah,
eventually.
it's one of those things because I remember the last time you were here, I also had asked you if there had been any questions that had stumped you in the
Mhm.
past, whatever. And I know there isn't because you said, no, you pretty much there's rules to this thing there,
Yep.
and you're following every. So you've pretty much looked into a lot of these things. But then I thought about it. I'm like, yo, what happens if you're cremated? Like, y-
Mhm.
what happens to your? I mean, obviously, again, it becomes more of a spiritual thing. Your soul
Uh-huh.
is still alive, and where do you go? So it's going to be interesting. But when you were mentioning, because now we're in book 7, all right, and then I'll show some images of the previous books, but book 7, man, I know you've been talking about how big and how things change in this book.
Yes.
Is there anything you can tell us spoiling without spoiling it too much?
One, you will see the inside of the undead retirement community.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
so that is going to get blown wide open.
Hmm.
Two, you will never look at this world the same way again because of what's happening there.
Oh wow, oh wow.
Three, I don't know how to say this. The scenery is going to change because of what
The
happens.
scenery, okay.
Right, because we've been pretty much like we've been a Western, but we were also in modern time,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Because we had
Hmm.
that issues 3 and 4 was a flashback, but it was like it was modern time. It was 2020 when the flashback happened. And even though we're forward 10 years from that, it's a Western because things have kind of like society has crashed. But now we're going to change scenery again when we get to issue 8. And so it's not going to look like a Western. It's gonna look
Really?
like something else for the next few issues. So
Wow.
that's why I keep saying like there's 1 through 6. Everything has been leading up to 7. We've been foreshadowing this moment. We've been asking the question, like, seriously, what the heck is going on here?
Right.
And it's kind of like with issue 1, when you get your foot in the door and I immediately introduce you to Big James and it's a bad day, and that's like
Yeah.
this is where we're starting. Issue 7 is like we're busting down the door and you get to see how bad this place really is.
So I was going to ask you about this because obviously you've been doing this now. What 2022 is when you launched it. I mean, obviously you've been writing
Right.
this since 2018. You wrote it. I know that you wrote it back in 2018, but 2022 you finally were able to launch it. I just wanted to talk to you and ask you about just reflecting on the first campaign and now the 7th campaign. Like, have you ever had a moment to kind of think back and say, wow, damn, okay, geez, campaign number 1, campaign number 7. What have you learned? What have some of the mistakes you made, some of the things that you're like, oh, I need to keep doing that. Maybe I should do more of what I did then. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, our issue 1, um, gosh, we ended at 5,500, but
Mhm.
it took 28 days to get funded.
Oh, okay.
So it took a majority of the campaign to even cross the 44,550, which has always been our goal.
Yeah.
And so every campaign, it's gotten a little easier to get funded. Um, but it's always a challenge. Each one is always a
Yeah.
challenge. Where I'm at now, we funded very quickly. So again, 3 days, we were already past our goal, but it slowed down after that. I think the difference is now that we're at issue 7, It's a lot harder for people to get the full catch-up tier physically because of the price point. So I
Yeah.
have a lot of digital backers, which is also great. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I love all the backers equally, but our dollar amount is gonna fluctuate now because we're so far into
That's
the
true.
story. And so, I don't know, we'll see. I really think that when issue 7 hits and people start talking about it, that, I'm hoping that more people will be saying our name.
Did you like, because the thing with Kickstarters obviously is it's all or nothing, right? So
Yeah,
if you don't make your goal, then you don't get any. So you could, if your goal is 4,500 and you're at 4,450, you don't
eh,
get the 4,450 because you were short
nope, you
$50,
get
right?
nothing. Yeah.
Was there at any point, whenever, like right after the first one, say for example, that you thought, let me drop that goal a little bit just to make sure that I can get it? Or were you,
No, because here's the thing, I really wanna make sure that I'm setting a goal that is, reflecting what we need for the project. A lot of people will set their goal at 500, but really the goal is, to pay for the art and to pay for the print, and if there's merch, to help offset the merch. So if I put it at, like, 2,000, it for just the art production alone cost me about 4,000 to make the book. So, I really don't want to set it so low that if, people back and we get 2,000 and then people stop backing, they're like, "Oh, well, she's funded. She doesn't need any more. Like, I can pick it up on the back end, or I can." Then I'm gonna be paying out of pocket, and I still, like, I never want my reputation to be at stake, and I'm never going to be that person that says, "Well, I know I set the goal at 2, but I don't have enough to actually produce this Kickstarter, so none of you get anything." Like, that's we've all been burned by Kickstarter where you back something and then someone doesn't follow through. I never want to do that. So I would rather fail and try again later than set it so low and be like, sorry, even though I got your money, it's not enough. You know what I mean? Like, I
no, for
think
sure.
that's disingenuous. So,
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I mean, I think that, and for those, who may be watching and have no idea like how the behind the scenes of the Kickstarter works, because
mhm.
you pledge and you've never actually ran a campaign. You got to understand that it's an all or nothing campaign, number one, but also you can pledge and your money doesn't get taken out of your account until the 30 days are up or until the thing has funded in its 30 days, right?
Right.
What happens is some pledges drop because credit cards don't go through or whatever. So while people may see that you made $7,000, behind the scenes you could have made five because $2,000 didn't go through. You know what I'm
Well, and
saying?
even on top of that, Kickstarter takes a fee,
Well,
and then
yeah.
there's a
Well, yeah.
credit card fee, and
Yep.
then there's your shipping is included in that. So
Mhm.
out of because last campaign I ended at 7,500, and then I had when I had turned off late pledges, we ended at 77. But yeah, I made 5,000 from that
Right. Right.
because of the fees involved and then the shipping. And so I had enough to produce the book, I had enough to print, and I had enough to purchase the merch and just enough to, do it again. So it's like we
Yeah.
start over.
Yeah.
It goes very quick. But I mean, a lot of it is art costs because I'm the writer and I'm bringing in artists and, so I have a team, of course, it's Marco, not Marco anymore. I'm sorry. It is Gilbert Perez. I saw both of them this weekend and it messed me
Yeah.
up.
Well,
Like, I went
Marco
to a
was.
Comic-Con. Right, I know, but I saw them both at the same time and my brain just got messed up because we've never all been in the same place ever. So,
That's funny.
Marco DeFeo was the artist for 1 through 4.
1 through 4.
Gilbert Perez picked up at issue 5, and he is going forward. So Gilbert, again, these are top quality. They are top artists, right? I'm not drawing stick figure horses for you guys, so they cost money.
Yeah.
Matt Chambers is our colorist. He costs money as well. My editor, we pay her again. So it's like just to make the comic is expensive. So, and if it wasn't for crowdfunding, I wouldn't be able to afford it. So
Yeah.
I'm so
No.
thankful that I'm able to use Kickstarter, and there's Indiegogo, and there's Fund Your Comic, and all these places where people like myself and like yourself can go to get some assistance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think part of what, like, and great points. I mean, the fact that there's fees and all that other stuff. I think that also what I'm trying to explain to people is that what you see when the campaign ends, and just because you think
It's
it's
not what
funded,
we get.
doesn't necessarily mean that that campaign, which is why things like stretch goals become so important. Which is why
Mhm.
when you look at a campaign, not you, but like when people look at a campaign and be like, oh, 4,500, they made their five, they don't need my backing. They're good, you
Right.
know,
But
but
it's
that's not the case. You know what I mean? Like,
one, we always like to reach new readers, right?
yes, for sure.
Because I don't compete with other creators. I compete with myself. And so I'm always looking at my previous campaigns and how do I compare.
Right.
Um and we always beat ourselves up. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm like, if I'm below, then I'm like, what did I do wrong? Or is it the
Yeah.
economy? Is it the time of year? Is it I didn't run enough days in my campaign? Like, I'm trying to figure out the why behind it. But ultimately, we're still getting a book no matter where we are. You know what I mean? Like, as long as
Yeah.
we hit the goal, then we're fine. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to make sure that we're growing in our readership as well. That's my
Yeah.
job, to
And
make sure that the book gets out there.
yeah, and I also think that for readers who maybe who are, who pledged to the first three campaigns, 4 or 5 campaigns, and they're like by campaign 7, they're like, well, let me see where they're at. Oh, they're at, you know what? I'll just order it from, or I'll see Laurie at a show and whatever. Now, pledge to the
Mhm.
campaign. You know why? Because again, like you said, it's it's about that extra bit that that the campaign may need to put you over the hump to make sure that that goal is met every single time. So, because
Yeah.
sometimes, a returning back, or like myself, for example, right? I have every issue, but let's say, for example, this issue I decided to take off because I know you. I could just reach out to you and say, hey, Laurie, can I get a copy of that book? That's great because I'm still supporting you, but it doesn't necessarily
Right.
help you in the crowdfunding arena that
Correct.
you're in. So if you want to support indies in crowdfunding, then support them in crowdfunding. Make sure that you do pledge there because that helps. That helps a lot, you know?
Yeah, it is the most important time for indie creators when we run
Yeah,
a campaign. That's how we know one, that's my social indicator. Do people still want me to keep going? Are they
right.
tired of this story? You know what I mean? Like, do we need to take a break, or did I take too long of a break? You know what I mean? Because there's
Mhm.
that too. So there's that, but it's also to guarantee that I can continue to make issues. You know what I mean? It's the most important time for us as a creator. Also, you can get all the books from my website, sure, but you're missing out on the stretch goals.
Mhm.
So we break stretch goals for backer count, and you get poker cards for free. We break goals by dollar amounts, and so you get free PDF comics. We're getting free scratch and sniff stickers. We're going to get, I do the slice and dice event. I have gummies planned from the Candy Crypt. So there's cool stuff that you get for just coming along for the ride here. And then, of course, I do exclusive things only on the Kickstarter, like the Funko Pops, or they're custom made pops. Um, the poker cards are there, like I said, but there's a ton of stuff that I do, like the hot sauce. You cannot get the hot sauce on my website. You have to get it from me in person, but there's a loophole on the Kickstarter. So if you're out of state, you can get it there, but you can't get it unless you see me at a con. Does that make sense? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's loopholes, and there's benefits to going to the Kickstarter that you can't get really anywhere else. So it's important to go to that.
I agree. I agree. And the thing with your campaigns, and I'll tell you this, Laurie, like you put a lot of work into these. It's not just a comic book, and it's never just a comic book. Hold on, let me just put this up here. I'm here for the aroma.
We were talking about the scratch and sniff covers earlier today on the brew, and Lou was cracking me up. So
Yes,
good
we were
time.
just talking about that on the Catch the Craze podcast. She's got the what you say, Lou? It smells like a cowboy. The cover
Yeah,
smells
it's
like a
called
cowboy.
Cowboy.
So that's gonna be fun. But talking about that kind of stuff, so like it's not just a comic, right? You've built a whole entire world. You've built a whole entire this thing. It goes deep. Now, me personally, I'm here for the comic, right? That's what I
Mhm.
like. And the beauty of this of your world, I think, is that I don't feel like I'm missing anything by supporting the comic book and not necessarily participating in all the other things, right? Those
Right.
are icing on the cake,
Those are
but
icing.
they're not necessary. So I don't want people to think, oh man, this is overwhelming. Like she's got a whole thing. Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that to get the
No.
no? I know the story simply from reading the books. Like I
Hmm.
don't need anything else. That stuff that you're giving us is just like I said, icing on the cake. It's
Yeah.
just fun.
It's
It's just
just
you're
for
tired of reading
fun.
this comic. Check out this
Yeah.
video. Solve that riddle that I just put
Hmm.
up there. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of fun that we're having. Where do you
Yeah.
come up with all these things, Laurie? How do you do you have like a do you have a room where you sit and you start brainstorming these things? Like
Yeah, it's a
how do
padded
you come
room.
up? Yeah, you have like a
It's
little
all a padded room,
you
George.
have your own little
And I just
padded
like
war room.
rock
Like
back and forth and try to think up with riddles. I love riddles. I love doing puzzles. I'm always trying to see what I can do and push the envelope. So like I was really excited that we were able to figure out the working phone number one. Because that was on the bucket list for a while. So
really,
I needed some help. Like I needed someone with technical expertise to help me figure that one out, but we got it done. And
yeah,
so I have a lot of things that I still would love to do, that are on the bucket list, but it's just like I have to figure out how to do some of them, and then B, make sure they're within cost, because again, all these things come out of my pocket, right?
right,
And it's not
right.
it's not a stretch goal. It's not something like we have to unlock. We don't unlock these. This is just something that I do.
Yeah, you
So
do.
there's that. And then of course the time. So I'm really behind on the short films. Just for time's sake. I have to, I'm past the point where I can play all the parts. I need actors and I need adults to participate. And then it's just working out a schedule. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I have people that want to do it, but then working out like what's the time frame that we can put this together.
Yeah.
Filming it all is one thing, and then editing it all, and then putting in all
Oof.
like the after effects and
Oh,
um
the editing. The
usually,
editing is gonna be
yeah.
killer.
Well, that on and then usually what I'm doing is I make them fan interactive. And so like in the credits, I'll roll the credits and it's like I zombified 40 photographs of people. And
Mhm.
so and then I made up like a story of how they were collected. And there was one where the undead underground started fighting back. And so there was a bunch of people had taken pictures of themselves as just dead body on the
Right,
ground, like.
right. I
And
remember
then
that.
at the end, I had one of them twitch because, of course, you don't really die in this world. So
Correct.
it's fun where it's like you don't have to do acting, but you can still be a part of the world.
Yeah.
But it's just so time consuming. I gotta have more. I need a clone. I need a
You need a
clone.
clone. Yes, you do need a clone.
Yeah.
Let me show one of those videos
Oh, can
that
we
we're talking
do?
about. Yeah,
Yeah, let's do the
let me
first one.
yes, let's do this one.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna share this right now. Let's
And
see.
then let's watch it first, then I'll give you commentary.
When it comes to an inspired and privileged retirement, Pine Fox is where you want to be. Quality of life, peace of mind, harmony, it's all here. The setting is beautiful and peaceful. The atmosphere is lively and enriching. The amenities have something for everyone and every interest. At Pine Fox, your health and well-being is a top priority. Our community is growing and just waiting for you to join us. If making the most of your AD years matters to you, the choice is clear. Pine Fox.
Katie, time to come in.
Okay, Mom.
For more information, call 216-555-3323 or visit pinefox.com today.
You can stop it. I was like, okay, you can stop it. It's just credits at that point. So
I gotcha. I
just
gotcha.
get in the box, Lou.
Get in the box.
Well, because it's called Pine Fox Undead Retirement Community. And I was laughing with Lou. It was like, the reason I named it that is because in Western movies, they always have like the Undertaker, and he's measuring you for your pine box.
Nice.
So
Okay.
there's a Western /
Okay.
dark
Oh,
humor to that. It's like,
I
get in the
like
box.
that. The little girl in the video,
Yeah.
did she have did you have makeup on her for
Mhm.
so she's undead?
Yeah. I mean, like when you watch it and when you're watching the commercial for Pine Fox, there's the spokesperson, right? But
Right.
as
Yeah.
you're showing the community, you see people, but you never see their faces until
Right.
the end. And
Yeah.
then there's this little girl with a big old scar and missing teeth, and
Yeah.
she's, she's undead. So in other words, this is an undead community.
Mm,
So it's
yeah.
like white picket fences and look
Well,
at
they're
all the
trying to sell it,
things.
right? They're
Right,
trying
they're
to sell
selling
it.
it to you,
Yeah,
right?
they're
It's
selling it. Yeah.
it's a place where you can go to live out your undead years. He called them your AD years, your after death years.
Right.
And again, it's like it's packaged as this is where you want to be. You won't be a threat to society, because that's how you're portrayed in the living world,
Yeah.
right? Is you're a threat.
Yeah.
Um it's interesting to me. Like, that's why I did that video that way. It's like the happy place that they're showing you is this undead retirement community when reality is on fire.
Right.
So you have this juxtaposition of
Mhm.
here's what we want you to believe versus what is really happening
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just the clash.
Yeah.
So
Nah, it's very well done. And to your point about how time consuming these things are, because these things, there's high production value in these videos. These aren't, you know
thank
what I mean? Like,
you.
you did an incredible job with, the voiceovers and the music and the little special
The
effects.
static kicking through.
Yeah, it's really, really, really well done. So obviously this
Thank you.
takes a lot of time. Plus,
Yeah.
and that's just like one video of all of the other things. I mean, you have hidden videos
Yep.
within your channel that you can only access once you solve riddles. And so all of these things, it just makes it for a more entertaining, I guess, experience.
Yeah. I like the idea of being able to interact with the world through multiple mediums.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, we have video and we have websites that you can read, and we have phone numbers to call, and like the riddles, if you solve them, sometimes something will show up in your mailbox with your name on it from a character, so a character directly interacting with you. And so it's fun to kind of go down the rabbit hole. But you are 100% right. If you just read the comic,
Yeah.
that is the meat and potatoes. That's where you're going to get the whole, like, the experience. But the story is being told from Jude St. Clair's point of view.
Yeah.
And to your point, like, the world is so big and all these questions that come with it. Sometimes we don't have time to develop, more on an issue. Like, the last short film we did is called A Day in the Life. And it's about a family where it's a nuclear family, man and his wife and two kids,
Mhm.
and the father dies in the first 3 minutes of the short film. And so, what does that look like? How does that progress? If he's getting lost and he's starting to stink and he's starting to sundown, where he's becoming more and more chaotic.
Right.
And it's like, they even mention the undead retirement community, and she's like, what are we supposed to do with you? And he's like, well, there's retirement communities for people like me. And she says, not for us. We don't have money for that. That's too expensive. And so you have these people that are even iced out of this posh resort. You know what I mean? Or so they think it is. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So again, it's like, what do you do? So that's kind of what the whole point of the short films and the riddles is to kind of explore more of the world that we just don't have pages to show you. And I don't know if I would consider it fluff, but
Um,
it's not essential to the story. I know. What the hell, man? Netflix, we need cooler stuff. You should talk to me.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's so. I think it's almost like that extra features on the DVD that we used to.
Right. It's you have to cut it for pacing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Because we could have gone into all that with Jude's one of his family members that passes.
yeah,
But we just again, it's like we had so much more that we need to tell you and in a short amount of time, 24
yeah.
pages. That was the end of issue 3
Three,
and like going into
three,
4. And there was a
three
lot
was a
of story to be there, right?
three was tough, man. Three was a
Yeah.
tough read for me because
3?
yeah, because of what happens in the book. Not that it's a bad,
Yeah.
not that it was tough because it's bad, but because of what happens. Now, if you've read the book, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then get the catch up tier and check that thing out.
Yeah.
Sounds like Alan Moore's
Hey,
material between chapters and Watchmen. Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. That's a good comparison.
Mhm.
Like the stuff that he puts in the letters and stuff like that he puts in
Yeah.
between the book. And you know it's funny. So they
Yeah.
say, and obviously, if you were to put this, and I think you said this in past interviews, if you were to do this as a live action, it would cost too much money to do what you
Yeah,
try.
and you'll see why with this next issue.
Right. But the not the funny thing, but I guess the interesting thing is that even as a comic book, it costs a lot of money
It
to
costs
do.
money, but not nearly as much as
No, it would no, it
millions of
wouldn't.
dollars.
No, I mean, obviously, if you're doing the live action, you need investors and you
Oh
need
God,
far
yeah.
more. But as an independent creator, as an independent, writer and creator of a comic, that still would cost you too much money to put, like, say, because you could break these issues down and you can make them all 40 pages long if you wanted to, and
Right. And
fill them out. But you
that was
have to
something I
pay for
really
that.
had to consider, George, because again, when I wrote this, it was a full-length movie.
Right.
So how do you split up a 2-hour movie into bite-size comics? You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
because you can do it in a lot of different ways. And it's like, I think with even issues 4 and 5, I monkeyed around. I had it one way and then I shifted more into issue 4 for pacing.
Yeah.
Just to, even it out. And so I think we actually had 13 issues and we went to 12. And so, it's a thing. And so again, it's like if it goes wild and people want, to spend more on the Kickstarters, if we, find a bigger audience, we could do, instead of a 12-issue arc, we could do a 6-issue arc. It's the
Right. Because
same
you double it
story.
up. Yeah.
Right. You're getting 48 pages instead of 24 pages. But it just depends on finances. You know what I mean? Because we have to pay everybody. So
How do you? Because some of these books are 28 pages. I think issue 6 was maybe
issue
20. Is it
4
28?
was 28 pages.
Right.
Issue 4.
The cliffhangers. Do you plan that ahead of time, or have you split up your screenplay to kind of like help you out with these cliffhangers in between issues?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm right. When you write in movie script format, you have like act 1, act 2, act 3. And so you should have, beats and pacing
Mhm.
throughout to reflect that. So it's like 1 through 4 made sense because that was the world building. Like first you learn Jude St. Clair. If you look at issue 1, it's very much just him. There are some characters, but it's just a lot of Jude St. Clair making decisions. So you get to see who he is and what this world looks like on the surface. And that's it. Like that's all I give you in issue 1 because it's important for you to have an emotional reaction and attachment to this character. And then in issue 2, I start bringing in people. So you get to see Jude with some people. But again, 3 and 4, it's like, it's all about world building. That's what act 1 is. What is the goal? Who is our character? And what is this world? Right. And then 5, 6, 7, 8.
So,
Yeah.
right. I was going to ask you that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
1 through 4 is act 1. 5, 6, 7, 8 is act 2.
2.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Act 3,
Act 3.
and then it ends, right? And so where we are is that middle part where it's like the stakes have been set and everything goes wrong. That's typically what happens in the middle part of the movie. And then we resolve that and try to, hopefully have a resolution at the end of the movie. And so we're in smack dab in the middle where it's like everything goes wrong. So 5, 6, 7, 8, everything goes wrong. 9, 10, 11, 12 is the resolution. So again, and this is great too, because Gilbert was like, you've been hyping up issue 7 for so long. He's like, what are you going to say when we release it? Like, what do people have to look forward to after that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, well, that's easy. We're downhill to the answer. So I do tell the readers what broke death in these first 12 issues. So if you're paying attention, you might figure it out in 8. If you're paying attention in 9, you most certainly can figure it out in 9. And if you're just like oblivious and you didn't figure out 9, like when you open 10, it's like, there you go. Here's the answer.
It's in your
And so in the
face.
beginning of 10, if you haven't figured it out, I will spell it out for you.
That's more
when
me. I'm more oblivious. I'm there for the
You're
ride.
like, who in the what now?
I'm like, wait,
I've
what?
had people like, I knew it. I knew it. Right. I knew it was that. And then I've had people like, oh man, I had no idea. And when this happened, like I was floored. You know what I mean? Because there it is. And so it depends on, how much you read into the story. So
No,
but
for
yeah.
sure. This is doing those commercials in the world you created brings it closer to our world.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually what I wanted to do. The next one is I wanted to do a vaccine commercial.
Interesting.
Because somebody is trying to create a vaccine, whether it's a placebo or not, for this condition in path.
Right.
And so there's going to be a commercial for a vaccine if I can get around to doing it.
Is that something that you see within the book itself, or is this something that, like you said, would be outside of the comics?
I think it's outside. It's outside of the comic at this point because if we were going to include it, we should have included it in probably issues 3 and 4, and we didn't get it in there. So there's only so much. And now the things that I did give you, like when Jude St. Clair is flipping through the TV, are important for reasons.
So I'm not going to spoil it, but you mentioned the last time we were here the name Jude, right? St. Jude, right? Who St. Jude is?
Yeah,
and
who
the
is
reason
St. Jude?
St. Jude, right? The patron saint of the the people in need, basically, right? Like
it's like impossible causes.
Right.
Yeah.
But then St. Clair is another
Yes.
saint, and this one I
Did you look up?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, tell me who's St. Clair?
Patron saint of television
No,
and
no,
screens.
no, St. Clair.
So St. Clair of Assisi, right? Or Assisi, whatever, however you pronounce it.
Patron of Assisi. Oh, she is.
Right. Right.
That's not what I originally read it as.
No, but the interesting thing about that, and listen,
that's funny.
You can always find meaning in these things, because if you think about it, right, the media and what you've been showing us kind of has something to do with what's going on and what's happening in the media and what's happening. So the last name actually made sense to me, even if you didn't mean it to do that. When I looked it up, I was like, oh wow, interesting. What was the saint that you were? Maybe it's a different St. Clair.
No, it is, but I forgot that was also for television. And of course, they have like multiple things.
It's
and
vision,
so it's
right?
television.
It's like,
listen, goldsmiths, eye disease.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was a thing. Laundry workers and embroiderers. So it's like women in need. So there's a couple of those that I mentioned that are important.
Yeah.
Because where is Jude trying to go?
Right.
Go to the Golden City.
Yeah.
And who's the guy that's in charge there? Oh, it's freaking Gold.
Yeah, no, it's interesting the way you've kind of mapped this whole thing out with the names and with the meanings behind the names, Santa Claus, and it's a fun it's been a fun ride. I want to show some of the images that you sent me.
Let's talk about some of these for sure.
Yeah, let's show these first.
Right.
So talk to me about, like, they're not in any particular order, so I'm not going to be ruining anything for you guys. But talk to me about this particular scene that we're looking at here.
So in issue 3, that's when things start to go bad. Society is kind of falling apart, and In that very first panel, we have the news, which, by the way, that's my husband.
I know, I saw that. That's great.
It
That's
makes me
great.
laugh. But it's like the government has been rolling out these new laws. They pass like this whole package and it comes out in phases. And it's like, it's illegal to be undead in a living community in some places. So Protect the Living law has been rolled out with the creation of the Undead Collection Unit. And so you see these dudes show up in a black van with this circle and X symbol, and they just take undead out of their homes and will be separated from living communities for the safety of all. So again, it's like living separate. And here they are taking a 15-year-old girl out of the house. And it's like, of course, her mom doesn't want her to go. Mama, I'm scared. And they toss her in like a freaking sack of potatoes. And it's, this is heartbreaking to me. It's like it could be children, it could be elderly, it could be anyone. And they just don't care. And where are they taking her? They don't even mention it.
Yeah, it's crazy because again, this was written in 2018. Right?
Yep.
The pandemic hadn't happened. What's happening today in the real world where people are being taken, you know what I mean? And people just show up and just take people. That obviously hadn't happened in 2018, but yet it's here. It's freaking insane, dude. Like the fact that you've been able to capture it and this is again, it's not a political comic book. It's not, you weren't doing it for any of that. You know what I mean? So it's none of that.
None of it. And I mean, like, again, it's like, if you look at it, you can see both sides of it, right? Because at some point, this undead person will go crazy. They will go chaotic. They could become violent. They could, you know, like you're going to see violence in the story. And it's like, they cannot control themselves. Their inhibitions are gone. There's no filter. There's no nothing. And so, you know, ultimately for the safety of the community, the government feels like they should be separate. And it's like, you can have your own community, we'll have our community, and everybody will just continue on, right? But it's like, that's my kid, that's my mom, that's, you know, that's someone important to your family. And yeah, Lou, it's crazy how when I write things and I've written them, and again, this whole thing was complete back in 2018, 2019. I did my rewrites, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's what Aníbal was saying, Ice, when he saw this scene. It's just very reminiscent of what's happening now. And to your point, what Lou was saying, Indie Simpsons, basically, like, because the Simpsons always managed to kind of like, you know, make predictions.
And it's bizarre. It's still bizarre to me. Like as we release stuff, that's when the things become relevant. It's like when we released issue 5, one of the very first scenes is Jude in a grocery store, and they're, you know, the whole government is falling. But like his journal entry was like, I don't know how much longer we're going to be a country. He's like, we're so divided, and I hear things at night, and I don't know if it's fireworks or firearms. Like, it's just a mess out there. And we dropped the PDF for that book on election day. It fell. And so it just continues to be relevant.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bizarre.
Now this artwork was done. Is this Marco?
This is Marco. So this is, I think this is issue 3. Yep, this is issue 3.
Yeah.
But again, it's like they're watching the news, and it's bad news and more bad news. And it's like, this is where it all started with the government, where it's like, we're going to start stepping in and putting laws for the betterment of all. And it's like, in my opinion, it just always makes stuff worse. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they say it's better for all, but is it really? You know?
Yeah.
And it's also short-sighted, because when they're making these laws and the living are like, yes, protect us, and then they get hit by a car, and then they're on the other side of it like, no, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the laws is always like, it's for you, but not for me, until it is for you. And then it sucks. So
yeah.
That's actually a drawing. The guy on the TV.
This right
that's one of the nope, that's Jude's mom. The guy on the TV.
But I'm saying just the emotion, the reaction.
Oh yeah,
really well done. This is which one are you talking about as far as like
the one on the bottom right? The guy on the TV. That's one of our backers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
And that one, Marco drew him funny, and I was like, haha.
No, this is
Hope
good
he likes
stuff.
it.
This is another page from it.
So Jude St. Clair is watching television and he is taking notes. So if you're reading the story, every issue starts with a journal entry by Jude St. Clair, kind of telling you like what he's feeling about the time that they're in. And yeah, exactly, Lou. Wait, I didn't think that would apply to me, right? So again, here's the Pine Fox Undead Retirement Community.
Yeah.
Right. And again, it's on TV being shown as this white picket fence, hometown, everybody can live together. But you're also seeing like a church. So there could be religious conspiracy theories like the rapture happened or something along with that. And then but there's multiple pages of this. I'm just giving you the one with the undead retirement community. It's funny because if you zoom in on the sign, the very first panel, that like the white sign on the left. Yeah. It says Pine Fox Undead Retirement Community. When being undead is easy. Where being undead is easy. And I was just like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I
And
almost
here
was
they
going to
are.
put something like, it's so great you'll never want to leave. Like, it's terrible.
So these are the what do you call them? The discs,
The
right?
discs, right.
Now were they color coordinated or these here?
So the way the discs work is it has a screen and it shows the heartbeat or not heartbeat, right? But when you tap it, it will light up. And so it's kind of like you're wearing it at all times, but it's not really active until you tap it. And then, so on this one, the commercial is showing you an undead person and a living person arm in arm, that they're friends.
Yeah.
Right? Because one of them has the heartbeat and one of them doesn't. And so like if a collector or a police officer were to walk up to you and just tap your disc, it would light up green for the living and it would emit the heartbeat, and then it would turn red and alarm for the undead.
And the difference, I guess, in your book from like and I'm going to use the word typical, but a typical zombie book is that this girl is not trying to convert this girl. This girl's not trying to eat this girl's
She's
brain.
not trying to bite her. She's not trying to eat her. We don't have any of that.
She's just undead. In other words,
Correct.
she died, but her body hasn't died. Like
right. Her soul, it's her inside of her body. She's not mindless or flesh eating. It's her. But it's like having dementia and fast forward, where she'll be, might lose her memories first, and then she could become chaotic or violent eventually.
And she will eventually decompose because that's what the body does, right? So so but that's the difference. So if anybody's asking, well, this is just a zombie, it's not a zombie book in that way, because this is a perfect example. This girl is not a regular zombie book. She would be trying to kill her. That's not what this is. That's not the scary part of this thing. The scary part is that she is decaying and
and losing her humanity along the way.
Correct. Yeah. And here we have another scene.
Yeah, this is issue 4 because this is Marco. It is interesting to me. This is Lola. Okay. And so you see Lola a couple times in our series, and it's like when you see her from one side, she looks perfectly normal, right? And then when you see her from the other side, she is very clearly undead.
Correct.
And so she's kind of at the crossroads in this issue. They had just been through a riot. All of the undead were collected except for Lola, and it's because Jude St. Clair saved her. Right. And so she gets to walk off, and they have this moment. But in the big panel where she's talking about, he's asking her questions like, have you heard of the Golden City? I'm trying to get there. And she's like, I don't know anything about Dwayne, but I know about the Golden City. I've heard rumors. And it's just that it's out west, and where everybody has been told to stay away from it because it's close to the undead retirement community and it is not safe. So there's already this talk that the undead retirement community is not what you think it is, and that you really don't want to go there. So how do they, I mean, you know, I was like,
Yeah.
that's like, it's just hearsay, but there's already like, you don't want to go there. Yeah. You can check in, but you may never
You'll never
leave.
check. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, no, these pages, I mean, there's so much meat on this bone, pun intended.
Mhm.
Uh, and this is why me personally, I enjoy reading the book because there's just so much depth in everything that happens in the world. And I know you pride yourself on sprinkling in little things that you have to pay attention. But again, for somebody who reads comics and I read my comics as a way to just enjoy them. I'm not really looking too
Mhm.
much. I like to be surprised.
Mhm.
I'm not reading them to kind of figure it out right now so that I know what's going to happen and I can say I was right. I read it just to go along with the story. And if you read comics that way, this is perfect because nothing's going to be spoiled for you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's an
Like we
enjoyable
give you
read.
hints and we are foreshadowing, but you're not
Correct.
really like you will be surprised when you get to the moment. It's that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Ah.
Right.
But
It's not going to get spoiled. Right? It's not going to get spoiled.
right,
Correct.
you're not going to get spoiled and you will, like I said, you will be surprised, but the whole point of it is to make you think. You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
mhm.
Because there's all these rumors and hearsay and foreshadowing in the story and it's like, God, what really is going on in the
Right.
undead retirement community?
Correct. Now, this is
Oh,
where we go into issue number 6. And this is one of my
yes.
favorite scenes in that issue. And this is, it just seems that you seem to put Jude in these crossroads. He's always has to
Poor
make
Jude.
decisions
Mhm.
about what to do next. Now, Jude used to be an EMT, right?
Yes.
That's tells a little bit about his backstory before I pull this up so that it's a
Right.
little easier. Go ahead.
Right. So Jude used to be an EMT. In issue number 3, we have this flashback. You get to see him and his team, which involves his supervisor Aaron, who is very skilled and is kind of like he's seen it all. He's grace under pressure. And then the driver of the ambulance, who is Carlos. And Carlos has this unique move where he's like, "All right, we're gonna go," and he's like, "Let's go, Jefe!" And he cracks all his knuckles. And that's his signature thing. So we show that just for a second in issue 3. So you can recognize this character later on. But Jude is now in a camp. He's in Camp Cadaver, which is run by, and they keep saying it too. And now, so this is telling as well, because they're like, this isn't just any camp. This camp is run by Miguel Blanco. And they're like, it's Miguel Blanco. It's Miguel Blanco. Like, should I be like, I don't know who that guy is. Like, were you trying to impress me? But he is someone of note who you will find later. But at this point, Jude's just like, I don't care, dude. And so they lay out this plan, which is the most cockamamie plan. I mean, it's like, you're going to break in. He's like, how am I going to do that? He's like, I can't pretend to be a collector. I don't know how. And they're like, well, that won't work because they scan retinas and they scan fingerprints and we can't
he
get you in their system.
he's trying to break into
The undead
the
retirement community.
undead retirement community.
Right.
That's
Because
where they're trying to break in.
right, because here's the thing. He's been trying to get to the Golden City, right? So first he
Correct.
wanted to talk to Dwayne, and Dwayne was like, it's all started there. It's the Golden City. It's this guy named Gold. He has the answers. And Jude's like, all right, well, let's go. And he was like, well, you can't get there because the undead retirement community is in the way and they just won't let you. And he's like, I have to try. And Dwayne says to him, I know somebody that can get you there, but you won't like the cost. And here we are. Dwayne's buddy is this Miguel Blanco, who claims that he will take Jude to the Golden City, but he has to do him this favor first. So he has to go into the undead retirement community and then come back out and tell the world what it is,
Right.
because they all know that it's something wrong. And again, if you're undead, no one's going to believe you because you're half rotten, right? So they
Right.
want this living person to be kind of their advocate, to sneak in and then blow the cover open. And Jude is just like, this is dumb. This is never going to work.
Plus, Jude feels like I'm so close to this golden city. Why
Yes.
am I going to risk my
Right.
life, or why am I going to risk becoming an undead when I'm so close to
Right.
figuring this thing out? It makes no
Do it
freaking sense.
myself.
So
Right.
this is the scene where this particular person here is telling them, dude, you got to do this for us. Like,
Right.
you know, you
It's
got to
like
do
no
this.
one
for
would
us.
believe us.
We still matter. In other words,
Right.
we're still human. We're still human. Like, yeah, we're on, but we're still human. Do this for us. And he's like, man, I'm not gonna do it until he realizes who this particular person is.
Right.
And this is the scene here, which I really
So
enjoyed reading it.
here's another subtle thing. Jude never told Dwayne his last name.
Right.
And when Dwayne introduces him to the Banditos, he said, this is Jude. I never got his last name.
Yeah.
Right. But look, this character is like Jude St. Clair. So he knows him. Right. And that's why Jude's like, yeah, do we know each other? He's like, of course you can't recognize me. I'm recognizable. And then he does his signature move. Right. And there he is. It's Carlos. Let's go, Hefe. Crack.
And he just gives him a big hug because he hasn't seen Carlos. And now, how many years has it been since they've seen each other at this point in the story?
Probably close to 10 years, but that does not mean that's when Carlos died. That's I didn't really write Carlos's backstory of what happened.
Seen it, right?
Yeah, but Carlos was burned. He is burned to a crisp. He is unrecognizable.
Right.
So
I like that he still has his hair though. That's
yeah. I was like, sure he had there.
So here they are now,
right.
and then last time you were on, you told obviously the story was written in 2018, and nothing had changed.
Nothing had
up
changed
to this point. You hadn't edited any scenes. You hadn't done anything to the story. You guys were just drawing it as you had written it until this scene.
Until this scene.
And tell us why. Tell me what's going on here.
Well, first off, sad pancake became a thing. And for those that aren't aware, that's that little undead dog. And of course, in our world, the undead can be friendly. So he is a friendly undead dog named Sad Pancake that Gilbert inadvertently drew this dog into a very vicious scene in issue 5 where this gang of undead was like pulling living people out of the road and just lining them up in the street and shooting them. And Gilbert drew a puppy into that. So it's always a fun story to tell. The story was how I was like, oh, and on that last panel, what's that?
His origin story is
story of Sad Pancake. Yeah. Where it was in issue 5. And I was like, oh, and when you get to the last panel on that page, make sure you shoot the dog. And he was just like, what? You know, like that was what happened with issue 5. Like I did not write that dog into the story just to shoot him. But he became such like a fan favorite. There's this whole thing about Sad Pancake and his origin that I was like, we're going to make space for Sad Pancake. And not only that, it was important that Jude, as he's walking through the camp, to still see the humanity behind these people.
Yeah.
Because yes, in the very beginning, you're seeing them just shoot people. You're seeing some of the people that Lola shot in issue 5 at this camp. But ultimately, it's about their safety in numbers because the undead retirement community is so close to where they are that they can't risk it.
Where did you, Sad Pancake, why the name Sad Pancake? Where did that come from?
The fandom named him.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought for sure that someone was going to call me out on killing this dog because I put that scary puppet from Saw. His name is Billy that rides the little tricycle. He's like, you want to play a game? So I put a picture of Billy and then I put a picture of this dog and said, do you want to play a game? Let's name a puppy. And no one was like, why are we doing this, Laurie? Everybody was like, a puppy! Let's name the puppy! And so we had a poll and I put some suggestions and I left it open for people to put in their 2 cents. And there was a comic book store in McKinney called Carpe Diem. I'm still friendly with the owners, even though the store has been closed, but they have this dog named Pancake. And it's a
Oh,
great Pyrenees and golden retriever mix. And Pancake would greet you at the door whenever you walked into the store. Like, it was great.
Hmm.
And so he put sad Pancake, and everybody voted for that.
bad pancake. So all right, so and this is what I'm talking about as far as like how it goes beyond the comic. You have a
Yeah.
whole community that votes on things like this. When the campaign is over, they vote on what kind of fruit you smash.
Yep.
I mean, what to name the fruit. What is the how do people join that if they wanted to if they did want to join that?
Oh, well, there's a couple places. Of course, the Facebook group. It's
Yeah.
just Path of the Pale Rider. It's under groups. It's a private group, but that's just how I keep the scammers out. You just have to answer one question to get in, which is, do you like comics? I'll let you in. So it's just fun. We play a lot of games. Like, we've done a lot of things like naming characters and naming things and building apocalypse soundtracks. And there was this one that we did where you Google your name plus apocalypse gear, and then you share the pictures that come up, and it was really funny. So we do fun stuff in there. And like, a lot of times, if I'm going to add something that's a limited quantity onto my Kickstarters, I'll put it there first, so the followers in the group kind of get first access to these exclusive items. So there's perks to being there, but so we
Yeah,
just have fun. We're naming an undead pig right now.
oh wow. Okay. The link to the group is actually in the show notes. I just
Oh,
put
great.
it in there already. So it's already there for you guys to check it out.
Yeah.
So this is your hot sauce. This is where the
Yeah.
hot sauce, is this where it makes its debut in issue number 6?
Yes. Yeah. Because
Okay.
it makes sense here, because again, this population is losing their memories and they're losing their humanity. And that's terrifying to me, to
Mhm.
know that you are actively becoming less than what you originally started as. And I did a lot of research, obviously, when I was writing this, and I did a lot of research into how the brain works, where memories are stored, and how memories can be attached to other senses. So, like the sense of smell, the sense of taste, the sense of sound. All of these can, even like feeling something, can remind you of like your childhood toy or your teddy bear that you used to have, or smelling certain kind of foods reminds me of Christmas time at my grandma's
Happens all the
house,
time. It happens all the time. A song you
Right,
hear will remind you of a time when you were a kid.
right.
I remember
Oh
that
gosh,
stuff.
remember when we were roller skating in 8th
Right.
grade, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so hot sauce is the vehicle for these undead people. So it's hot enough where they can still taste it, because they can still taste, but everything is kind of muted in their body. So they can feel pain, but it's muted. They might, hear things and see things, but it's muted. So their sense of taste is muted, but it's hot enough where this can come through. And so they sit around the campfire and they put a drop of hot sauce on their tongue, and they remember.
Mhm.
They remember what it's like to eat. They remember things that have been forgotten. They remember what it's like to be human.
All right.
So, and this is where Jude gets to connect. Like, okay, it's easy to forget sometimes the humanity of others.
And this is what I guess catapults him to the next thing, right? This is what makes him
Mhm.
make his decision as far as like, okay,
Yeah,
am I gonna risk myself for these people?
right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
and
There's a difference between going in
right,
and being resistant, like, yeah, I'll do it, but only because you're gonna kill me,
right.
right? Or, yeah, I'll do it because I want to, and I want to help these people, because if this is what their resort is to be in the middle of nowhere and living in tents, because the other option is to get caught and thrown into whatever the undead retirement community is. Can I make their situation better?
Yeah.
So,
So I had a question for you. Part of the scene is that, and it's, but I also had a question for you because that again, you said the book had been written, this was added later. That's so the hot sauce itself, and I keep going back to the hot sauce because you do sell this at shows.
Yeah.
You sell the comic, but at the shows you make the hot sauce
Yeah.
and you sell the hot sauce. Was that something that was in the book first, or was
No.
it something that you started making sauces and then put them in the book?
Yeah, and I that's why I combine these scenes because again, I'm not one to I want to leave my script alone.
Yeah,
I really do. But since I was adding the scene with the dog and I was like um it made sense to add the hot sauce as the vehicle to help with the memory. But ultimately, the whole point of Jude walking around this camp is to see the humanity of people.
right.
And so, you know, the fact that he sits down and they offer him some, it's like they are willing to accept him as he is. And but yeah, like the hot sauce became a thing because of the Kickstarters and because of the community. And
Mhm.
so I felt like it needed a place in the story.
That's
So I
cool.
added it. But I will very seldom add or change anything. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right. So
Like Gilbert
pancake.
was the only one I let change anything in
Yeah,
the story.
yeah, yeah. Here's that pancake fetching his owner's hand as it waves at him.
It's like, hey, and then if you look at the next one, it's like, goop. It's like thumbs up, man. And he's like running away, and then it's like waving goodbye. He's like, bye bye.
Great.
It's like sad pancake. I was like, okay,
Last chance to walk away, Jude.
last chance.
I'll let you guys, I'll let you guys find out what happens from here. I'll stop sharing it here. And
But
leave it.
man, I'm excited for issue number 7. Gilbert, um, there's preview pages on the Kickstarter for you guys to look at, but Gilbert is so excited for this
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
He's really yes, it's there. Yeah. It'll be up for a while. And yeah, you I got some good names in there. Thank you.
The one thing that's deep. Yeah, no, it is. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just saying it's just I'm excited for issue 7. It's a big deal. I'm very excited to see, you know, all the pages from Gilbert.
No, but Gilbert's also excited. You were saying he's
Yeah,
very
he
excited
is
about this one.
very excited. So this is one of the issues that when, you know, I knew we were Marco and I were going kind of our separate ways and I was looking for an artist and I had approached Gilbert about it and I said, well, make sure, you know, I want you to read where we're going, you know, and he was like, sure, you know, like it's really good. And then he
Sure.
started getting into it and he was just like, oh dear God. He was like, I don't know how I am going to do some of these things in this story yet.
Really?
But and that specifically, I think, is issue 7. However, it's like I love how Path gets increasingly more chaotic. And so, like in issue 5, he had to draw like the town of Santa Claus getting burnt down by swarm of blister beetles on fire,
Right. That's
you
right.
know, and it's just like we just have a lot of moving parts. And so he's been continually challenged. And so he is definitely up for the task for issue 7. If you see the 4 preview pages, this book is gonna knock your socks off. There is very little dialogue. It's going to be all action and art. And so I am so thankful that I have Gilbert and Matt on the campaign to tell this story. You know what I mean? Not a campaign, on the issue. It's getting late. My brain's been talking all day.
So this is the campaign right here. We're at
Yeah.
113 backers, 69 hours to go, $5,632. So
Mhm.
you've made goal, but again, like we were talking about earlier today,
Right.
when the show started, this number needs to go up in case there are things like, some pledges don't go
There
through,
will be. There
the
always is.
the fees that get taken off
Mhm.
by that we won't see. Well, if this campaign ended today, this is the number we would see. We
Mhm.
wouldn't see the actual number that you're going to receive.
Correct.
Right? That's what we're going to see. So this is not exactly what will end up. So make sure that if you guys haven't pledged yet because you're waiting or you're not sure, pledge. Make sure you pledge. Let's get this. Let's get this over 6,000 at least.
That would be
But
great. My goal is to get to 65 because then we unlock all We unlock the slice and dice, and then we unlock the Candy Crypt gummies that I would love to send everybody. And then everything after that is extra cake. You know what I mean? Like it's all
Yeah.
cake at this point, but I really would like those stretch goals. Look at that cover.
Yeah, this is really freaking cool. Is this is Gilbert?
That's Gilbert on pencils and inks and Matt Chambers on colors for that one.
Yeah.
And sometimes Matt will color and sometimes he won't. It just depends on like scheduling and how much time Gilbert has. This one, he's so busy right now that I was just like, let's have Matt color that so you can go on to something else. So yeah.
Do you like? And
This is
just
again what I kind of describe. It's like Fallout, Good, Bad, the Ugly, Walking Dead, Cocaine Bear. That's where we, kind of fall. This is cool. You guys should watch this because again, I've been hyping up issue 7 for a long time.
Mhm.
But can you trust the person that's hyping their own thing? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so what I did is there's only 5. There was 5 people, and I didn't even let George do it. You believe that? Poor George. I'm sorry.
I can't believe it. I
I
can't
know.
believe
How dare I?
this is ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I just remembered that. And we're gonna get off now. This is it.
He's like, and cancel pledge.
That's a good. Yeah. These are testimonials. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's testimonial, non-paid advertisement, but they read the first half of the script only. So no art and no ending. But you should see what those people have to say. You don't have to watch it now, but and then there's my elevator pitch, just the short one. If you don't like reading words, you can watch that instead.
This is smart. This is good. We were talking about to Sam about this, that he should do like a pitch video only because it's easier to sell it this way rather than, like you said, reading or people be like, I don't know what this is. What you know what I mean? That way they listen to what you're saying. So this is
right. And I mean, there's the welcome video, but some people don't even watch that.
No, they don't. They won't. Yeah.
So I just give you multiple spots where you can see if you watch all of it, it'll probably overlap, but I always put some because some people watch something and not the other. So, and then of course here's interiors.
So this is the interior now. Well, it's on the campaign, so it's not gonna.
There's no spoilers. I mean, this is and so here he is. There's this cockamamie plan again. It's like you're gonna put the antidote up your sleeve. You're gonna wear a fixed disc, and we're gonna inject you with a beta blocker to slow down your heartbeat. You got 30 heartbeats, and good luck, senor. And he just like shoves him out from behind the sign. He's like, "Go get him, tiger!" And off we go.
So he looks undead. They think.
Yes.
Yeah. These are good.
It's him. It's a bad look on Jude.
It's interesting because like I can already see the growth of Gilbert.
Right. I know.
Yeah. It's amazing how like the more you do something, like they say practice makes perfect, but the more you do something, you see like even here and the detail in the eyes.
Those eyes.
It's looking really, really good, man.
Someone was like, I need a bumper sticker with that. You know what I mean? Or a t-shirt or something. Cool. Now, look at this page. We'll scroll down a little bit more so you can see the bottom. And so here he is getting into this van, and there's already undead in there. Right? And then his heart beats, and it goes lub-dub, and it takes his breath away. So not only does he have to pretend to be undead, but there's this whole thing is whenever his heart beats, it could give him away. So it's like super tenuous already. And then do you see who's behind him?
Here?
On the same side as Jude. The same panel.
Oh, yes.
You recognize them.
Oh, wow. I'm not even going to say who they are because you guys have to read the book. But this is issue 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Damn.
Which is unfortunate because they're about to have a bad day.
Oh. So do they recognize him? Well, I'll read the book. I'll find out.
You'll see.
Yeah, I'll see. So this is the issue 1 through 6 recap. I like that you did it as a GIF.
Yeah, it just scrolls through, and it's not every page, but it gives you some highlights of what the previous issues look like, and the covers. And
this is EMT. He has an EMT.
Yeah. Origins of Big James.
Very good. Yes, these covers are fantastic. They're really good covers.
Yeah. Gosh, I like I said, I was surprised on Saturday. I was at a con in Frisco. I knew Marco was going to be there, but I did not know that Gilbert was going to be there. And so I look like I'm watching this line. There's Jim Lee was there signing autographs and selling art. And so my husband went to get an autograph in the line. And so I'm watching the line just to see when I see Dominic come through. And I'm looking, of course, I have terrible eyesight. And I'm like, is that Gilbert? And I'm looking at him and he's nodding his head at me. And I was like, it is Gilbert. And so I got like ran out from my table. And Marco was like, wow, I didn't know you could move that fast. I'm like, shut up. Talking to Gilbert. Hi, you know, like
That's
geeking
great.
out. And then I was like, cool. Do you want to sign books while you're here?
So you signed a bunch of books?
Yeah, I'm like selling books. So I'm like, hey man, get Gilbert's signature. He's right over there. Like it's Gilbert was signing books too. So that was super cool. This is the William Russell variant.
This is the one that I got.
That's the one you got? Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
It's just
Head West.
Head West. And that's an ongoing joke in our series as well, where Jude St. Clair asked for directions and people are like, Head West, man. Like, anytime you see him ask for directions, it's West. It's just really funny. So
I like this down here. This little detail right here. It's in every book, but I like this the way you do it.
that's our numbering system.
Yeah, I like it. Every book.
There's more to it, but I'll explain it when we get a little further.
Yeah, no, I know.
Propaganda
by Wade Codling.
And this again is like, it's all the TV ads that you're seeing about the undead retirement community with graffiti and then like other news. You know, like I like the bottom right one where it's like the URC is family and it says lies.
Do you tell them what you want to see on the covers, or do you kind of just say, hey, you can do whatever you want on these covers?
Sometimes I'm inspired with an idea, which this one was, and I will look for an artist that I think can breathe life into it.
Gotcha.
And so that one was Wade. Other ones, like I'm just like, hey, I'd like a Lola and Sad Pancake, and Les Gardner got that, was like, cool. William Russell is usually like, I would like to do a zombie, and I'm like, cool.
This
right?
This is a great cover.
Isn't that great? He did that in like a day.
The dog, man.
Just ridiculous how talented all of these artists are. Yeah. This is Terry Parr from Tomorrow Girl from Antarctic Press. And he does amazing art. And so this one is kind of like a twist on a zombie genre theme, because usually you see the hot girl that's alive getting pulled down by the horde of zombies, right? On the movie covers, on the posters. This is an undead girl getting pulled down by a horde of zombies. So why? Like, what are we doing? Right? It'll make more sense when you read the issue.
I got you.
And then this one.
This is cool.
This is super cool. And again, this is also related to the story. Right. And so I call this one Capitulate. So it's a nickel word. You got to look it up and see what it means. But Catherine Burkhardt is an amazing artist, and it turned out great.
Beautiful cover. And then the rewards.
You got t-shirts, hoodies. If you wait just a second, I'll point out which one is the new one, because they're all great. And I mean, like, I run so many t-shirts that you can play catch up on any of these designs. Like, they're all available. You just tell me your size and which style you want in the survey, and I'll put it together for you. But the Sad Pancake, the green one, is the new one. So I like that. Yeah. Last campaign, I had some difficulties. The place I normally order the iron-on stuff from, their machine went down, and so I had to order from another place, and they all showed up slightly smaller than what I wanted. So if anybody got a shirt with a slightly smaller...
This one.
Yeah, this is the new one, the Sad Pancake. So I apologize, but unfortunately it was like, I couldn't reorder and spend another $300.
Right. Yeah, that's the tough part about t-shirts too, man. Yeah.
2-cover combo. This is great because I have so many great covers and you can't decide. The 2-cover combo is the way to go. It's $20, and that gets you 2 physical copies and the PDF. So it's always an option.
Collectible custom.
Right. And again, these are only available on the Kickstarter. Like, I don't make extra. They're not on my website. I did. He's a drunk.
Yeah, no. So they're not available on your website. They're only available.
Yeah. I don't take them to cons. Like, these are custom. and they're
How
very
many do you
limited.
have? How many do you?
So Jude, Big James, Dwayne, Callie, Francis, and then
There's only
Jimmy.
one of each one of them.
So I only produce, okay, so how they work is the new design is there's only one that's produced on every campaign. So the new design is a shocking one, which is on this campaign. It's in the singularity and it's gone. And then I'll open up 5 of the previous new designs. So the Jimmy Pop with the blister beetles was the one we premiered last campaign. So there's 5 available, right? However, only 2 people have ordered them. And so if only 2 people order, you get a 1 of 2 because I don't order any additional.
Yeah. So once they're gone, they're gone.
And people are still asking me for another shot at that Big James Pop, but I don't know if we'll go back or not. I haven't decided.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Secret rewards.
This one, okay, so this one will change in price depending on what I put together for you. I've done a box. I handmade a bunch of boxes, wooden boxes, stained them, added the hinges and everything. And inside was a glass bottle of ashes and bones. That was a fun one to open up. People were like, what the F? But I've 3D printed Big Jameses and shadow boxes. I built a working disc, so I will wear it, to Comic-Cons and cosplay. And one person got that. I've done, and see the laser printed bear back there on the keychain that's inlaid with sterling silver wire. So these just change depending on what I feel like. And this one is hilarious. This one on this campaign, it's hilarious and it's wearable. And you will laugh when you open this box and see this thing, just so you know. So again, it just depends on if you want to, you still get a copy of the book, right? But it's like, do you trust me to back this ridiculous thing? Because it's funny. So many shirts. I know.
So many shirts. And then he also mentioned, if you need a merch guy, check out Colossal Customs, based near Atlantic City in New Jersey. They do a lot of work of bands and indie creators.
Really I appreciate that. Thank you. I do my t-shirts myself.
Oh, you do?
So,
Oh, nice.
I have a t-shirt press and all that shenanigans. Wooden covers, so cool.
Wooden covers, man.
And I mean, like, it made sense because we were doing metal covers, but the wooden covers are so Western.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it just made sense for us. The limited re-release William Russell variant of issue 1. So William Russell and I have been collaborating on our series.
Right.
So he has a series called Psycho Sal. So he, as a creator, knew what he wanted to do, but has never written before. And so he contacted someone like myself, was like, build the dialogue, flesh out the story, and I like 4th, 5, and 6 was like a mini arc. So I'm writing the story for like those 3 and also foreshadowing things that we can do in future episodes. So I'm fleshing out the story for him. And in exchange, I'm getting these beautiful variant covers from William, which sell like hotcakes. And
he's very talented, very talented.
Yeah. So we went back and did an issue 1, and we'll do an issue 2 on next campaign. So
okay, cool. I like this is great too, the Cthulhu based preview. I like this. I got this book, Choose Your Own Path.
I'm surprised you made it through in one piece. You're
I know. This was fun. I used to love reading these books as a kid.
Yeah,
they were a good time.
I always love those as well. They're a terrible to write.
Sure.
In fact, I started the second one and I kind of abandoned it in the middle. And my editor is always like, "Are you going to go back and finish that?" I'm like,
I got time.
Yeah, I'll do it. I need to. But that would be fun.
So you got the trade, so you can get the trade issues 1 through 4.
Yep.
That's great. Poker card. Oh,
laser cut wooden poker card. I made 10 of these. I think they're $5. They're pretty inexpensive. And I will clean them up and stain them and poly them. But it's just like, I had a bunch of exclusive stuff. I usually do right at the beginning of campaign. And usually there's a hot item that everybody is gunning for and they're gone. And so I'll usually add on stuff later. And so people, if they missed out on that hot item, have an opportunity to go get something else if they wanted something exclusive.
You got
I make squishies.
Not edible.
Don't eat
them. Sand pancake minifigure.
This was the hot item. This was it. I only
So
got 4.
and they're all claimed.
They were all claimed in the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
10 minutes of launch, and they were all gone. I paint ceramics,
Yeah.
and so I'll make mugs. So the next one is a unique item. I only made one, and I will only make one like this.
Claimed.
That one went fairly quick.
Good for you.
And then I rebind books.
You bind
So
books, and that was claimed.
that was gone day 1. So this is cool. I
By your cover. This is the one that
that's the one
was
Lou was
talking
talking about. Yeah.
Smell
Where
like
you can add a scratch and sniff sticker to your cover. But it's like it says right there, like Cowboy is a scent mix of citrus, bergamot, sea salt, and amberwood. So
Love
it's
the
pleasant. It's not meant to be stinky.
Cowboy.
Everybody's like a zombie book with a scratch and sniff, and I was like, I know, but it's not that.
You got a little swag bag, get a surprise.
If you can't decide what you want in the add-ons, just there's a $10 one and there's a $25 one. I could throw any number of things into your box.
Gotcha.
A lot of times I'm like, I like these, but I only got 2 left. You get 1. Cool.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of stuff you can get.
You got the hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
This is the sauce. I like how you have the peppers. It's great.
Yeah. And you can add those on, or there's one tier, which is the hot sauce sampler, where it's a box of 3 sauces and then a book.
Cool.
That's our most popular. But like, let's say you wanted one of those custom pops, you could get a custom pop and then add on either 1, 3, or 5 bottles of hot sauce.
Okay.
I have to go check and see. Last campaign, we sent out 39 bottles of hot sauce.
I like this backer stretch goals that you do, the 50 backers, poker cards. So these are all the ones that have been
unlocked.
Locked? Oh, okay. And you can order, you can get these right separate if you've missed them, right?
They're in the add-ons. However, I made a mistake and someone found it. So if you go to the add-ons and you add on the Joker, which is Dwayne, you're going to get this Joker. There are 2 Jokers, and now I've worked ahead on these, so I inadvertently put the other Joker in the add-ons. That's not it's the wrong one, sadly, because I haven't released it yet. Right. Dang it. So I inadvertently released the other Joker card without releasing the Joker card. Fun times. And it won't let me change the picture, by the way, because I tried.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I'm going to change it. And it was like, no.
So this is what we're getting at 50, and this is what we got at 100.
Correct.
These are the ones that have been unlocked, right?
Yep. We could get to 150 backers before it ends on Friday. It's possible.
Good.
But we haven't broken 150 yet. We've been close. We've always ended up like around 140. So a few more backers, and we'll start unlocking that 3rd poker card. Will be great.
Nice.
All our stretch goals. These are fun.
Yep. The giant PDF bundle. That's cool.
Yeah.
500.
I like that because the digital backers get that too.
Yeah.
A lot of the stretch goals are physical things like stickers and goodies and bookmarks. And it's like, if you're a digital backer, you can't participate. And so that's why I always do the indie PDF bundle first.
Gotcha.
Because we will always unlock that one. So every single backer can take advantage of that
Everybody
one.
can get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the scratch and sniff that's been unlocked. Smells like maple syrup.
Yep.
So this is the slice and dice event we're waiting for, huh? This is where you smash something.
Yeah, so it'll probably be a pumpkin because it'll be the fall again.
Oh yeah, that's
so
right.
I'll probably be a pumpkin. And then so the 2 things you get to vote on is you name it. So you name this pumpkin as a group, and then you get to vote on the weapon of destruction that I use. And so I'll open it up. Like last time I was being funny because one of my friends here in Texas had this bat with a circular saw attached to it. And it was like, do you want to use this? And I was like, say less, you know what I mean? Like, of course I want to use it. And so the options for the weapon was like bat saw attached to a bat, bat with a saw inserted. It was all different ways of wording it. And then like I had one that was like bat saw with a rubber chicken attached to it. And of course, that's the one that won. So, but yes, Lou is correct. I got a new chainsaw. I'm itching to use it. So I'll throw that on the list this time. So we'll see if that one will win. But I'll use whatever weapon you guys decide on. I mean, like the sledgehammer won twice. So yes, George is the only person
dare you, Lou?
that made it through. You're the only one though. Like
Really?
Marco did too, but I think that's cheating because he knows what's going to happen in the
Oh,
story.
well,
So,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like he knows the logic.
Very careful going around this world.
He was like, don't open any of the things that are shiny that Laurie
didn't
gives
take
you.
any
Don't do it.
unnecessary risks. Let's just say that. That's what I did.
Yeah, it's funny. And then this one, of course, is the one I'm really gunning for, which is the zombie deconstructed assorted gummies. This one is edible, and it's through the Candy Crypt. There's a link there so you can check them out. So if you're a creator like me and you want to do a gummy pack, contact them. They'll absolutely do it for you, and it's so fun. So I think we need to, get more small businesses involved because why not? Right?
This is awesome. The Candy Crypt. This is great.
Yeah.
Let's get that. Big James Magnet.
I got merch. So if you want merch, I don't know if we're going to get here. I don't know. We're pretty close to the end to go up this high, but we'll see.
We'll see. You never know.
This is the one I really want to get to. I'm actually going to switch this one on the magnet.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Because I would love to roast everybody some coffee beans named Zombeans a la Lupin's. This.
Zombeans.
Zombeans. It's when you're feeling dead and you need a little life.
Big James short preview. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I wrote an 8-page one shot. It's just a short, and all it is Big James destruction. He runs through buildings and rips people's faces off, and he's Big James, right? And it's just 100% destruction. So it's written, and I would love to make this. And if we break 10,000, which, yeah, right. But if we break this at some point, I will give you like 2 pages of the 8 pages in the comic. You know what I mean? Like you'll get additional pages in the comic. But I would love to do this Big James short. Maybe I run a Kickstarter just for that. I don't know.
That looks really cool.
Yeah. So much stuff on this campaign, Laurie. Why? So I'm collaborating with Ed Davis on Immortal Era and Sarah White on Produce Cats. So if you back physical Immortal Era and Path of the Pale Rider, you get a 2-sided metal card. There's a few people that are getting these already, but it's like Immortal Era on one side and Path on the other. And then Produce Cats, you will get stickers. You get the Dino Nugget sticker from me and the slightly rotted avocado named Gary from Sarah White. And if you back all 3, you get all of those plus an additional magnet from Sarah White. But so those are the Produce Cats is hilarious. It's just cat merch, and it's cats drawn as bell peppers and carrots and onions. But it's like stickers and magnets and keychains. It's all very inexpensive merch, and in my opinion, would make a great stocking stuffer for the holidays for your favorite, your person who loves cats.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
No, for sure.
And then Immortal Era is. Have you read Immortal Era?
No.
Okay. Ed Davis and I are weirdly tapped into the same cloud, the same creative cloud, because in his world, death is also broken.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
But his is like 200 years into that future. It's more supernatural because there's like witches and the specter of death. I don't want to spoil too much, but like there's cannibals and there's sci-fi and robots, and like they're trying to put death back together is what they're trying to do. So it's more sci-fi, futuristic, dystopian than mine. But again, if you like Path, I'm reading Immortal Era. You would like that one too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to check it out then.
Yeah, it's good.
Riddles and shorts.
There we are.
This is your joint. So how many? So there's 7 riddles then. Obviously, every book has a riddle, right?
It's more than 7 riddles because there is a choose your own path book. There's a riddle in there.
All right.
There is a riddle in the trade, but it's a gimme. Like it's this QR code, and it's the same. It'll send you to the same place as the riddle for issue 3.
Gotcha.
So, but there's more riddles out there. Like I think there's riddles on some of the merch too. Like on the puzzle, there's a Lola puzzle, and if you put the puzzle together, there's a message on the back. Yeah.
I'm telling you, the world is huge. We saw this at the beginning.
Yeah, that's the one we watched.
This is a classic.
This one is hilarious because it's like all the conspiracy theories that people could think of what would
Yeah.
break death. And then at the end, you can watch me get run over by a car.
That's right.
This one was supposed to be a little scary, but this one I think was the most technically hard for me to do by myself. And so I'm doing a lot of it where I'm filming and acting. It gets a little arduous. You know what I mean? But this one I love because it is I have actors and they're acting out some crazy stuff. There's some jump scares in there. There's some funny moments in there. Like it's really good. And then that's where I zombified everybody at the end. So
yeah, that was good.
Mhm.
Meet the
There's
team.
me with the bat saw.
Oh, there you are. That's awfully close to your face there.
I was like, oh, ow.
Yeah, word. Oh,
Yeah.
zombie weed queen, huh?
That's right.
Is this Gilbert?
That's Gilbert, of course. I love
Gilbert
that T-shirt.
Pettis. Yeah,
Great shirt.
Ninja Turtles mega fan.
Mm-hmm.
Here
He's
we
done some
have,
good work. And then this is Matt Chambers.
biggest anime fan of the year
Look
award.
at the books behind him. Look,
Holy cow, dude.
there's all Berserk, and then up
Jeez.
there too. Yeah,
Wow.
amazing.
Here
And
we
then there's
have
Rachel. That's Rachel Bullock.
All right,
Mhm.
musical theater fan enthusiast, cosplayer. Nice.
I don't think they even knew I changed their titles.
Yeah.
I was like adding
wow.
these things to their title, and that they never noticed. It was funny.
This is 53% goes to Laurie's pocket. No, our
Yeah,
production.
right.
You
I was like,
wish.
I'm the only one now not making any money.
No,
I always
there's
laugh.
nothing in here for you.
I always laugh because I'm always like, Gilbert, I was like, I'm so glad that you're bringing people to the Kickstarter so I can pay you. I could turn around and pay you. He's like, hey, you're getting stuff out. I'm like, I am, because I'm getting my story out. I was like, but I don't get a paycheck on this. I don't. There's no money there for me.
And these fees get so weird because anything over $10 gets charged this much. Anything under, it's just so weird. Canadian international shipping. You can purchase a trade paperback from Ace of Imagination, who's in the UK, and they will ship internationally. That's
right.
cool.
So there's the link. If you're international, if you are Canadian, if you're a Canadian backer, just contact me because you can tell me what you want to put in your tier, and I will weigh it.
Right.
Like I just put together a tier for a Canadian backer, and pretty much what it looks like is that if the box is under 1 pound, shipping is $18, and if it's over 1 pound, it's $25. If it's 3 pounds, I think it goes up again. But that's kind of like what you're looking at for shipping. So I didn't want to like overcharge or undercharge when it comes to shipping for Canadian, and then adding the add-ons. It can get tricky. So I was just like, just tell me what you want, and I will put together a package with your name on it. It's a 1-of-1, and then I'll send you the link for it.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the packaging. So I mean, your stuff comes packaged extremely well. So nothing's ever been damaged on mine. So I can attest to that. No AI used in Pale of the Pathrider. So
Pale of the Pathrider. That's awesome.
Yeah. No.
Path of the Pathrider. Yeah.
No
AI.
It's
nothing. Interiors, covers, commercials, all of it. Like everything that we make, there's actual people involved. We don't use AI.
That's great. That's great. And
That's
it. It's already in production. We always deliver, and this is true. And this is the 8th campaign. So that's that, everybody. So make sure if you haven't done so yet, hit that pledge to the campaign. Let's get some of these more of these stretch goals.
It's just fun stuff at this point. But again, it's making sure we have that buffer so that when things cancel, and they will, when things bounce, and they will, and then once the fees come out, and they will, that we still have enough to function. So
100%. So so it's we're doing 69 hours to go before the campaign ends. So it's almost over. I mean, what is Friday, right?
It ends like Friday at like 6:45. 6:45 Central. So 7:45 Eastern. Yeah.
All right. Well, Laurie, this has been fun as always. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you coming in and talking to us about Path of the Pale Rider. said that right now.
Thank you. Yes, I know. Thank you
And
for having me.
Yeah,
And
no, and
I
listen,
always have a blast too. And like making time for me, it's like I know you had Catch the Craze and then you came right over here to do this one. So I appreciate it.
No, this was fun. This was fun. I look forward to reading the 7th issue and seeing where it goes. You know, when we get off, I have a theory, but we'll talk about that when we're off. But
Yeah,
guys,
like, we're
everybody,
gonna
thank you
have
for
a
joining
therapy
us.
session is what we're gonna have to have. Path of the
Yeah, I
Pill
know.
Writer therapy
I know. I
session.
know. I know.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the links in the show notes. I have a bunch of stuff on there. I have obviously Laurie's stuff, and then I'll have my website on there. My Kickstarter that's coming out October 7th, the shameless plug. So check that out. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Laurie, thank you so much for joining me. Hang out.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Later,
everybody.
guys. Peace.